Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello there.
Today, we're kind of peeling back the layers, looking at that really thin veil between, the everyday world and things that are truly extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
We're exploring some real-life events that really challenge our understanding of reality. Stories so strange, honestly, they seem way stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
The stuff we're drawing on today, it's this collection of unsettling accounts. All true, though. Some are tragic, some are just plain horrifying, and some are a bit of both, really.
And that's kind of our mission today, isn't it? To look at these stories. Some might seem, supernatural on the surface.
Right.
But others really highlight something else, like incredible human resilience or even these unexpected twists in science.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to sift through these chilling narratives, pull out the most compelling bits, and try to find the insights hidden inside them. Think of it like a journey through the genuinely unexplained.
Okay, so let's start this journey. Our first one is a classic, honestly. It sounds like something straight out of a horror movie script. The Humpty Doo Poltergeist.
Humpty Doo? Yeah, great name.
Right. This happened back in 1998, small town in Australia near Darwin. The family involved, Andrew and Kirsty Adjus, at 90 McMinn's Drive.
Mm-hmm.
They were just, living their lives. And then things suddenly got very, very weird. It started small, almost silly. A shower of pebbles falling.
Mm-hmm.
Outside first, on their porch.
Okay, maybe kids messing around.
That's what you'd think. But then the pebbles started falling inside the house.
Whoa.
And here's the really strange detail. They seemed to be pebbles from their own driveway.
Their own driveway?
Yeah, and they felt warm, like warm to the touch, seemingly just dropping from below the ceiling.
Okay, that's definitely not kids.
No. And things escalated, like really dramatically from there. Soon, other stuff started appearing out of nowhere. Little batteries, spanners, tools, even knives. Shards of broken glass just appearing.
Oh.
Then came actual vandalism. A CD player got thrown onto the floor.
Oh, wow.
Glass cabinet doors, windows smashed by a flying ashtray. Appliances apparently ripped right off the counters, mattresses flipped over. I mean, you just can't imagine the terror.
It sounds absolutely terrifying, and it went beyond just things being thrown, right? There were noises.
Yeah, that's maybe the creepiest part. They described scraping noises coming from inside the walls. Like something was actually moving around in the structure of their home. They tried everything to calm it down. Even brought in 3 priests.
Priests, okay. Did that help?
Apparently not.
Oh.
The Pult, which is what they started calling it.
The port?
Yeah, the Pult. It just wouldn't stop. It completely defied any attempts to, understand it or control it.
But then it got even stranger, didn't it? With, messages?
Exactly. It seemed like it was trying to communicate. Words and symbols started appearing, just materializing.
Like written.
Sometimes written on the walls,
Yeah.
marker pen. Other times spelled out using Scrabble tiles on the floor.
Scrabble tiles? Seriously?
Yeah. And the words themselves were just chillingly specific. Things like Troy Skin Fire Car.
Troy Skin Fire Car.
Okay. And just the word help.
Help. Wow.
Now, connect this. Their friend, Troy, had actually died, tragically, in a car crash very near their property right before all this activity started.
Oh my God. That adds a whole other layer, doesn't it? A really disturbing personal connection.
It really does. It suggests something deeply personal about whatever this phenomenon was.
Yeah.
Anyway, after 4 terrifying months, the Pult just stopped.
Just like that.
Just as abruptly as it started. And the whole thing. Still completely unexplained today.
So, thinking about this, a family's home basically turning on them, what really stands out to you?
For me, it's just how deeply unsettling the unexplained can be when it hits you where you live, literally. In your home, your safe space.
Yeah. It forces you to confront the fact that maybe science doesn't have all the answers yet, and it pushes you to think about possibilities, beyond what we can touch and see.
Yeah.
The sheer persistence of it and those specific chilling messages, it just makes it a case that sticks with you because you can't easily file it away.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? That sometimes the biggest mysteries are right under our own roof. Okay, let's shift gears now. Speaking of unsettling realities, our next story takes us somewhere completely different. We're going from Australia to Iceland.
Iceland, right. Beautiful place, famously safe.
Exactly. Known for its incredibly low murder rate, which makes what happened in 1974 even more shocking. 2 mysterious disappearances really shook the whole nation.
2 of them.
Yeah. First in January, an 18-year-old, Goodman Johnson, he was last seen stumbling, nearly falling in front of a car during a blizzard. Then, just gone.
Vanished in a snowstorm.
Okay. Then, 10 months later, November, Geirfinnur Einarsson. He gets a phone call, leaves his home. His keys are found later in his car, but he also disappears. No trace.
Wow. 2 disappearances, no bodies, no leads.
Exactly. And the pressure on the Icelandic police was just immense. The public wanted answers, the media was all over it, but they had nothing. No witnesses, no motive, no bodies, no forensics. A total blank slate.
Which is incredibly rare for Iceland.
Totally. So this is where the investigation takes this really bizarre and ultimately tragic turn. It became known as the Reykjavik Confessions.
Ah, yes, the Confessions. This is where it gets really dark.
It started kind of sideways. They brought in a petty criminal, Sævar Ciesielski, and his girlfriend, Erla Bolladóttir, for questioning about something else entirely, an unrelated crime.
Okay.
But somehow, that questioning spiraled. It eventually pulled in 4 other suspects, and incredibly, all 6 of them ended up signing confessions.
For both murders.
For both murders. Gudmundur and Geirfinnur.
But the way those confessions were obtained, that's the crucial part, isn't it?
Absolutely crucial. The accounts are just horrifying. They were denied access to lawyers.
No legal counsel.
Kept in isolation for hours, sometimes days. Just endless interrogations. And here's the really disturbing part. Reports of antipsychotic drugs, sedatives, even water torture and sleep deprivation being used.
Water torture? I mean, this sounds medieval.
It's shocking. Some of them later said they only signed the confessions just to get out of solitary confinement. Erla, the girlfriend, was held for 242 days.
242 days in isolation.
Yeah, and 2 others were held for over 600 days. Apparently, outside of places like Guantanamo Bay, those are some of the longest isolation periods recorded in modern history.
That's unbelievable. And this is where that whole concept of false memory syndrome comes in, right?
Exactly, where intense pressure, suggestion, drugs, it can actually make people genuinely believe they remember doing things they never did, or things they weren't even involved in.
It's terrifying to think your own memory could be manipulated like that.
So, despite none of them having any real memory of committing these crimes, all 6 were convicted. Sævar got life. The others got sentences ranging from 3 to 12 years.
Based on confessions obtained under those conditions.
Yes. It wasn't until, 2011 that the case really blew up internationally. It became this major example highlighting huge issues.
Yeah.
Potential police corruption and just how unreliable confessions can be when they're obtained under duress.
It's just astonishing. What does this really tell us about truth? About how fragile it can be within the legal system when people are that vulnerable?
That's the core question, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it speaks volumes about how easily truth gets twisted under extreme pressure, both psychological and physical.
Mm-hmm.
The case is just this stark warning, really. A confession isn't always guilt. Sometimes it's just desperation, an attempt to escape unbearable torment.
Yeah.
It shows how the system, trying to find answers, can sometimes end up, creating its own version of reality.
A deeply disturbing thought.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of how fragile our grasp on reality can be, let's move to our next story. We're going from Iceland's quiet interrogation rooms to the noise and bustle of Delhi, India, July 1st, 2018.
The Burari Deaths. This one is chilling on a whole different level.
Absolutely chilling. That morning, in the Burari district, 11 members of one family, the Chenduat family, were found dead in their home.
11 people.
11. And the scene was just horrific. 10 of them were found hanging from a metal grill in the ceiling, blindfolded, hands and feet tied, heads wrapped, ears plugged with cotton wool, mouths taped shut.
Oh, God. The details are just
awful. And the 11th person, the grandmother, she was found on the floor in a bedroom, strangled.
Strangled. So not the same way as the other.
No, it was a neighbor who found them. Their grocery store, which they ran downstairs, didn't open on time. He went to check and walked into that horrific scene.
I can't even imagine.
And what happened next was just chaos. Apparently, hundreds of people crowded into the area, into the house even. Some reports say people were trampling over potential evidence. Someone even filmed the scene and put it online.
Oh, that's terrible. Contaminating the scene like that?
Terrible. But the key breakthrough, the thing that started to unravel this, was finding 11 diaries inside the house.
11 diaries, matching the number of victims.
Exactly. And these diaries, they detailed something extraordinary. Over a period of 11 years.
11 years?
Yeah, the youngest son, Lalit, had apparently become convinced he was possessed by the spirit of his dead father.
Possessed, okay.
And over those 11 years, he gradually convinced the rest of the family that he was now the head of the household, that his father's spirit was speaking through him, giving orders that they absolutely had to follow.
Wow, that's quite the long-term influence.
And the connection to the scene was undeniable. The diaries describe this obscure religious ritual, and the instructions in the very last diary entry match perfectly how the bodies were found. The positions, the blindfolds, the bindings, everything.
So the ritual itself led to their deaths.
That became the main theory. Was it mass suicide, driven by this belief? Was it a ritual that went terribly wrong? Or was it somehow mass murder orchestrated by Lalit? The lack of any struggle signs on the 10 who were hanging made investigators lean towards them willingly participating.
Believing, maybe, that the ritual would save them or lead to something better.
Perhaps. Believing they'd be saved by the father's spirit after completing the ritual only. That obviously didn't end that way. It really speaks to the terrifying power of groupthink, doesn't it? And that kind of psychological influence.
Absolutely. The level of control is astounding.
Regardless of how you classify it, the whole event is just deeply, deeply chilling. And the fact that the youngest victim was Lalit's own son, Shivam. He was only 15.
15. God. When you see shared beliefs spiral like that to such an extreme, what does it really reveal about group dynamics? Within a family, even.
It's a profound and horrifying example, isn't it?
Yeah, it shows how charisma, even if it's based on a delusion, combined with that shared belief, can create this collective reality with utterly devastating results. And that slow burn, the 11 years you mentioned, that's key. It wasn't sudden. It was this documented journey into a reality crafted by one person, but eventually shared by the whole family.
It really highlights how susceptible people can be to authority, maybe, or that desperate need for guidance being twisted.
It's tragically manipulated, yeah.
Okay, from that psychological tragedy, let's shift again. Back to the U.S., California, Capitola specifically. August 1961. A truly bizarre incident. People call it the bird attack on Monterey Bay.
The bird attack. Yes, this sounds like Hitchcock.
It really does. Imagine this. You wake up at 3:30 in the morning to the sound of thousands of seabirds, sooty shearwater specifically.
Thousands.
And they're acting crazy. They've completely changed their flight paths. They've arrived all at once, making this unbelievable noise on people's roofs. They're throwing up anchovies.
Throwing up anchovies?
Yeah, regurgitating anchovies everywhere and slamming into buildings. Just total chaos.
That must have been terrifying, like an invasion.
Absolutely. People who dared to go outside with flashlights said the birds were flying straight at them. Some people actually got bitten.
Bitten by seabirds?
Yeah. The next morning, the streets were just carpeted with dead birds, dazed birds, and half-eaten anchovies. A completely baffling, unsettling scene for the whole town.
And nobody knew why?
Not at the time, no. It remained a complete mystery for decades, until science finally found an answer much later.
Okay, so there is an explanation for this one.
There is. Fast forward to 1991, there's another mass bird death event in the same area.
Right.
And this time, scientists figured it out. It was caused by a toxic algae bloom. That was the big aha moment.
Toxic algae. Okay. How did that connect back to 1961?
Well, researchers remembered the 61 event. And crucially, scientists at Scripps had actually collected samples of zooplankton from Monterey Bay way back in 1961.
Preserved sample.
Exactly. So they went back to these old samples, used new technology, and they found it. The definite presence of a neurotoxin called domoic acid.
Domoic acid. So the algae produced that.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So here's the chain of events. Toxic algae bloom creates domoic acid. Anchovies eat the algae, or things that ate the algae.
All right, they accumulate the toxin.
Yep. Then the sooty shearwaters eat tons of these anchovies, and the toxin poisons the birds.
Ah, okay. And what does the domoic acid do to the birds?
It causes neurological problems, memory loss, disorientation, seizures. Basically explains their completely bizarre and aggressive behavior, slamming into things, flying erratically.
Wow. So a natural phenomenon, but with truly strange, almost horrifying consequences that looked, completely unnatural at first.
Exactly. It's a really powerful example of how delicate ecosystems are, how unseen things in nature can cause events that seem totally inexplicable, even supernatural.
It definitely makes you look at the natural world a bit differently.
It really does. It's a great reminder that sometimes the weirdest stuff has a logical, if disturbing, scientific answer. You just keep digging.
Yeah.
Okay, our final story for today. This one is about unimaginable terror, yes, but also just extraordinary human resilience. This is the story of Juliana Kopke. She was just 17 years old. It's Christmas Eve, 1971. She and her mother board Lanza Flight 508 in Peru.
Lanza, I think I've heard of them. Not a great reputation.
Exactly. Her father was apparently really apprehensive about them flying Lanza. They had a terrible safety record, but it was the only flight available to get them home for Christmas.
Oh, that's ominous.
Extremely. What happened next was just catastrophic. The plane flew into a massive thunderstorm, severe turbulence, then it was struck by lightning.
Struck by lightning?
Yeah, and the plane just broke apart midair.
Oh my God.
Can you even imagine the terror? Juliana finds herself free falling, an incredible 10,000 feet, still strapped into her row of seats.
10,000 feet strapped to her seat.
And she crashes down into the Amazon rainforest, the dense Peruvian jungle. It's an absolute miracle she even survived the fall.
Surviving the impact is unbelievable. What state was she in?
Pretty bad. She had a concussion, a broken collarbone, an eye injury, one eye was swollen shut, and a really deep gash on her right arm.
Okay, so seriously injured alone in the jungle.
Exactly. Her survival journey from that point is just staggering. She drifted in and out of consciousness for about half a day. Then, somehow, she starts moving. She remembered her father, a biologist, telling her that if you're lost in the jungle, follow water downstream. It usually leads to civilization.
Smart. Did she?
She did. She started trekking through this incredibly difficult terrain. At one point, she actually came across 3 other passengers, dead, still strapped in their seats, rammed headfirst into the ground.
Oh, horrific.
She said she was relieved, though, that none of them was her mother. She had to deal with terrible insect bites. And that wound on her arm, it got badly infected with maggots.
Oh, no, maggots in the middle of the jungle. That's
horrifying. But her ingenuity, her sheer will to live, it's amazing. On the 10th day, she stumbles across a small hut, like a logging shelter.
Okay, civilization.
Almost. It was empty, but inside she found a can of gasoline.
Gasoline? What did she do with that?
She remembered her father had once used gasoline or kerosene to treat their dog for worms or parasites. So she poured the gasoline onto her maggot-infested wound.
She poured gasoline on an open wound to kill the maggots.
Yes. Apparently it was incredibly painful, but it worked. It forced most of the maggots out. A few hours after she did that, 3 loggers found her there.
Found her? Thank goodness.
They took her downriver, eventually got her to a hospital, and finally, miraculously, she was reunited with her father.
That's just an unbelievable story of survival.
It truly is.
Yeah.
Out of 96 people on that flight, Juliana was the only survivor.
The only one out of 96.
Yeah. Reports suggest about 14 others might have survived the initial crash, but died waiting for rescue, including her mother, sadly. Her body was found days later.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
And adding another layer. It was later found that the plane itself, Flight 508, had basically been pieced together from spare parts of other aircraft.
Seriously, it just makes it even worse.
It does. But Juliana's story, it's just this incredible testament to the human capacity for survival against genuinely impossible odds.
It really highlights that raw instinctual drive, doesn't it, to just keep going even when everything seems lost.
Definitely.
Her knowledge from her parents, that jungle know-how, her own incredible strength.
Yeah.
It all came together for an outcome that just defies all probability.
Absolutely. So, wow, we've covered a lot today. We've journeyed through some truly unsettling real stories.
Unsettling.
From that poltergeist down in Australia to the fragility of truth in Iceland, that tragic group delusion in India, the bizarre bird attack in California, and finally Juliana's incredible survival in Peru.
Mm-hmm.
These accounts, all drawn from real events, they really do showcase the weird, the terrifying, and sometimes the miraculously resilient side of our world.
They absolutely do.
It kind of proves that reality can be far more captivating, sometimes, far more chilling than any fiction you could write.
And I think these stories, they invite us to think, don't they? Not just about the events themselves, but how we react to them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, what does it really mean for something to be unexplained? And how does our understanding shift when new information comes along, like with the birds? Or when we're just faced with the absolute limits of what we know?
That's the core of it, really. We hope these stories, this dive into the unknown, has maybe sparked some curiosity for you listening.
Yeah, giving you something to think about.
Maybe a new perspective on the strange things that happen in our world. We really encourage you to think about which of these stories stuck with you the most, or, left you with the biggest questions.
Definitely food for thought.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone.
And we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive.